in a nutshell, reason number one is because I think our country has gotten to the point, and I'm in the United States, we've gotten to the point where we've been brainwashed with health dogma our whole life. Like, it's only okay to be healthy, it's not okay to be ill. And it's gotten to the point where, I mean, it's never been good for sick people, but because we basically are told, we have to just get hustled into unlimited burdens to try to look or be healthy. And we're supposed to just say yes to every single thing that's suggested. Like, until you exhaust every crazy treatment, you're not supposed to stop treating an illness. It's like you're supposed to just exhaust everything that exists, can't say no to anything, can't have your own standards. Like, it's never been good for sick people, right? But now it's at the point where it's apocalyptic because there's, I don't want to get censored or flagged, but the 19 thing that's going around mostly kills old and sick people. Since it's not valid to be anything but young and healthy, that's okay. Just keep spreading it because it's only the old and sick people who are going to die. So that lifetime of health dogma that everyone's been brainwashed with is kind of biting us in the ass right now, like bad. So I think we have to have some different, and in my opinion, better viewpoints about just living with illness, and it's not only okay to be healthy. There's a range of human experiences. There will always be sick people. Just accept it. Don't make people second-class citizens for being sick. It's not more okay if someone dies because they're sick. No. Just because you're sick does not mean you're right about to drop dead anyways. So, which brings me to the second point. It was also pretty clear during this global crisis that people have no concept of what it even is like to live with an immunodeficiency. And there's all these people in comment sections who are like, well, the people who are prone to infections were gonna die anyways. And it's like, really? No one told me I was right about to die. That's news to me. I had no idea I was right about to drop dead anyways. Tell me about how I'm right about to drop dead. So I thought about it, and I realized that the only immunodeficient people who have ever been in the media have been the boy in the bubble, David Vedder, and Pedro when he was on his deathbed. So the only time the public sees an immunodeficient person is an immunodeficient person who's essentially on their deathbed. And the vast majority of people with immunodeficiencies are not severely immunodeficient. The vast majority of us are mild and moderate. People just have no clue, and it's not really their fault, it's the media's fault. So I am presenting living proof that most people with immunodeficiencies are not right about to drop dead anyways, are not living in a NASA bubble, and not not Hollywood material. Most people with an immunodeficiency are not Hollywood material. Most people with an immunodeficiency don't look like John Travolta, and we are not right about to drop dead anyways. So those are the two main points. I'll make a trailer out of that maybe. So anyways, I don't have the most terribly exciting, wonderful life right now. So in terms of vlogging, look, it's an immunodeficient person who has a very typical immunodeficiency and is not right about to drop dead. There's not a lot I can do right now. So I graduated with what turned out to be the most worthless piece of junk bachelor's degree imaginable, which it wasn't supposed to be. And I am job searching, so I need to be a little discreet about who I am, since I'm like doing this channel for the sole purpose of discussing controversial health opinions. So basically, I'm not going to say what the degree is in because I'd rather be a little more of a blank slate, and I don't want HR people to like have anything they could search for where people could piece together my identity. So I have a bachelor's degree that wasn't supposed to be useless, turned out to be useless. I've applied to a lot of different things because there's stuff I could fall back on, has not worked out. So watching someone literally just fill out forms and modifying their cover letter over and over again is not a terribly exciting video, I would be sure, because it's not very exciting when I'm doing it. I'm sure it would be even worse to watch it. And I'm going to be moving out of Texas pretty soon. I'm from Illinois. It's a long story. I'll make a video about it, but I drove down here in October of 2019 thinking I'd be here 1 or 2 months while I finish up my job search because I was applying to jobs across the country and I didn't know where I was going to end up or when. I had no reason to be pessimistic at that time. So basically, I didn't have anywhere to live as of October, so I drove down to Texas because I didn't need to freeze my ass off to apply to jobs. So I thought, like, the tacos are awesome, the barbecue is awesome, have myself a good time while I finish the job search and not freeze my ass off. I did not think I was going to end up there a year and a half. I didn't think I'd be here in the summer. I didn't think I'd be here with like the spring allergies, which are terrible. I didn't think I would end up with like a pandemic ruining my job search and keeping me in like one of the states that responded to it the worst. I didn't think there's going to be like some crazy once in 100-year storm messing everything up as well. Like, I thought I'd be here 1 or 2 months. I ended up like being here a year and a half and having like every imaginable disaster. I didn't know it was going to be like that. I've learned some life lessons big time. I don't regret coming here. I regret staying as long as I did. I didn't know it would turn into like the just most out of hand, crazy experience. And yeah, the tacos have been a bummer. The barbecue has been legit. The pizza is underrated, although right now I'm recovering from drug injury, gastritis, and duodenitis. So I can't really eat anything spicy or too greasy, to say the least. My allergies are so bad. Like, I should be on the paleo autoimmune protocol to control it until I get out of here at the very least. Although I want to make the most of my time here because I'll be leaving. I want to leave like regret-free. So I probably will cheat on the diet more just so I can like try all the places I need to try. Make the most of my time here. And not just like live in a bubble. I mean, I am living in a bubble, but like, doesn't have to be to that extent where I'm only eating like plantain and chicken. So speaking of allergies, when you have a primary immunodeficiency, you're at a 30% like higher risk of allergies, asthma, eczema, autoimmune disorders, and then digestive problems and potentially cancer. With my particular primary immunodeficiency, which only affects the mucous membranes. So like if I was to get cancer, it would be like gastrointestinal cancer and not blood cancer. People with other immunodeficiencies are more likely to get like a blood cancer. So I'm one of the lucky ones, but like even a mild immunodeficiency is really bad. So like selective IgA deficiency is what I have, which means only IgA is deficient, no other immunoglobulins or other things going on. My body is just completely missing it. So like there's a piece of the immune system that's just completely missing. It's not too low, it's like undetectable, completely missing. That's considered a mild one because it protects the mucous membranes, which is like not great. It's like 1.5 tennis courts of your body. It's not great to have them be susceptible to infections. But like if I did get, let's say, a urinary tract infection, it's not going to just turn into sepsis and put me in a hospital. Like it'll be terrible and it'll be hard to treat, but it's not going to like give me sepsis and put me in a hospital. That's the difference between mild and moderate immunodeficiency, it seems. So a mild one can make your life absolute hell. You don't want a moderate one, and you'd be dead soon if you had a severe one, probably. But yeah, like, so all these complications with allergies where I've exhausted every treatment, I have polyps, I could have surgery, horrible digestive issues from antibiotics I used in 5th grade. I've had severe IBS ever since. No amount of probiotics or diet seems to fix it. Asthma, not the worst asthma. Psoriasis, because it gives you autoimmune problems. I've got severe psoriasis. I have a bit of eczema. I don't know if it's going to even show up on the camera. It doesn't even look like it on the camera. My elbow. It looks good on the camera. I should be on camera more often. Yeah, the psoriasis. Yeah, you can see that on the camera. I didn't even know I had that much on my neck. Yeah, you can see that on the camera. But thanks to like the terrible BS lighting, it just blends right in. So instead, it just like makes my whole face look red and terrible. So you can't even like tell with how bad the lighting is. It's like really bad. And like when you have a visible skin disorder, like people treat you like shit. Because since it's an illness, they think they're allowed to. So like if you went to a doctor for any problem other than the skin disorder, when you have a skin disorder, why don't you go to a dermatologist? Like, why? Is there a benefit to it that I'm unaware of? Like, they can't be like, why don't you go get liposuction? Because, like, having big thighs isn't an illness. But they can be like, why don't you go to a dermatologist? Like, I'm not supposed to have the authority to decide if my own face is acceptable just because it's an illness. Like, just because I'm sick doesn't mean I don't have the authority to decide if I want to accept my face or not. Try explaining that to a doctor, they won't get it. It's not my favorite profession in the world. So it's an interesting thing, right, where they think like the only people who hate the medical field are like healthy people who don't need it. And it's like, don't you think the people who deal with them the most are the ones that have the most bad experiences with it? So also, worth mentioning, I've taken medical sociology, I've taken environmental biology, I've taken horticulture classes to do urban gardening and stuff, and I realized I was going to go into that because I am, once again, not the world's biggest fan of the medical industry. I'm a much bigger fan of like anything that keeps you away from it. But reading nitty-gritty books on like soil microorganisms and writing essays on how sewage treatment plants work was like not doing it for me. Wasn't doing it for me. So I realized, like, I guess I'm more interested with how humans interact with it and benefit from it versus like the nitty-gritty details of how everything works. So I ended up not going into it, but I took a bunch of classes. Then I didn't know what to do. I ended up with a degree that wasn't supposed to be useless. I'm going to be discreet about it, though. So, sorry, you'll have to accept that it's a mystery for now. a degree that wasn't supposed to be useless, but turned out to just push you off of a cliff. You would have been better off with no degree at all. So like even before the pandemic, okay, even before everything got messed up, I was accepted to graduate school in Milwaukee, so I was trying hard to get a job there. So I wasn't just applying to jobs in my field, I was applying to like grocery store jobs, computer store jobs, just like unskilled work where they can't be like, oh, your experience, oh, like no, like I was applying to like random stuff like that. Couldn't even get an interview. Because I think once you get a degree, unskilled places don't want you. But once you get a degree, they don't want you because like the skilled places don't want you because it's like, oh yeah, you have all the skills and you have this experience, but you don't have that experience. You have this skill, but you don't have that. You have this and that. And it's like, this has nothing to do with merit. I'm just ranting at this point. It's been a bad job search. But basically, the only thing an employer seems to hate more than an entry-level skilled person is an entry-level person who has to work remotely because of the pandemic. That's like, put the nail in the coffin. Employers hate that. So I don't know what I'm going to do. Well, the only thing I do know is I'm leaving Texas. Never intended to be here under these circumstances. Who would have known? This is like the worst possible place to try to look for a job if you're immunodeficient. You're fucked. Who would have known? I came here in 2019. Yeah, so basically, the heat, okay, when they say the summer is bad, that doesn't do it justice. It's like in March, it's in the 80s. Third week of October, it's in the 80s. So it's like most of the year is the summer. I thought I was going to be here 1 or 2 months in the winter. I didn't know I was going to be here a year and a half. The allergies are really bad. They say, oh yeah, the cedar flu, it's in the winter, it's a cedar, it's really bad. Dude, I haven't been here long enough to even develop that. I'm still like naive to the local allergens, but the spring allergies are my worst and they're really bad. So like back in Illinois, like I could get by with some remedies like sinus wrenches or diet stuff. Here, every fucking like nothing is strong enough. Nothing. Like I've been on antihistamines like the whole time. Even in the winter, even with the frost, because we had that historical storm, cannot get off antihistamines. But I can't take twice as many or else I'd be incapacitated with side effects. And I'm trying to do a diet to control my symptoms, and I've got like the sinus rinse with steroids. Like nothing is strong enough for these allergies. Nothing. I need to get out of here. I can't afford allergy shots. For anyone saying do allergy shots, give me $400 a month. Okay, give me $400 a month. I'll do allergy shots. I've got the time because I can't find a job that won't kill me or anything for that matter. I got the time. I don't have $400 because it's not like I didn't investigate what it would cost. And all the pills I took for my allergies fucked my stomach up, and I got drug injury gastritis and duodenitis from pseudoephedrine and guaifenesin. There's a story behind it. I wasn't trying to take it like an idiot. And my doctor knew I was taking so much of it, and she didn't think it was going to do that. And it's not known to. Like, it didn't give me ulcers, it just injured me. Because I did get my endoscopy results finally. So I actually lost 8 pounds since November from how sick I've been from the drug injury, gastritis, and duodenitis. So I lost 8 pounds unintentionally from being too sick. I was very fatigued, and I was like, I couldn't eat hardly anything, obviously. So I lost 8 pounds. So basically, I couldn't go on hikes, I couldn't exercise. I mean, I was miserable and pretty messed up. So in mid-February, I started to feel like my energy was coming back and I could eat more fat without burning. And now I'm at the point where like I want to start lifting weights again because I think I finally can like eat enough to sustain that and get my muscles back. I ran myself into the ground finishing my degree. I was in worse shape back then when I was finishing my degree than I am now because like I've lost weight from being sick and I've lost weight from like not having access to a kitchen for a couple weeks at a time when I was bouncing from place to place earlier in Texas. But like I ran myself into the ground. It was never my intention. Like I thought I'll temporarily change my priorities when I finish my degree. I didn't think like I would completely run myself into the ground by doing so. I did. I messed my health up. I was miserable. I was burnt out, frustrated, unfulfilled. I thought I messed my life up. I was kind of right. Like my life is still messed up. So anyways, before I ran myself into the ground, I was doing ice sports like speed skating, and I wanted to get back into women's hockey. My lower back pain that I developed from sitting lopsided at my desk kind of hindered that, and then just running myself into the ground like really hindered it. So I'm not gonna like lift weights for vanity's sake. I lift weights because A, I like lifting weights, and B, I would want to get back into ice sports when I have the chance. And like you got to be in good shape for it. I mean, like there's beer leagues. It's like not everyone who does it is in good shape, but like it's a lot more enjoyable when you're in good shape. So I was playing ice hockey growing up as a little kid, and I had to quit after 5th grade because the girls' team couldn't play against the boys' team anymore, so the girls' team would have to travel from rink to rink to play the other girls' teams. And my parents have crazy work schedules, so like I had to quit. And I was like the kid on the team who got bullied by everybody, so like I had no friends to carpool with. I got bullied bad in ice hockey. Those girls are like the worst. And actually, when I was an adult and decided to go into speed skating, I chose speed skating over ice hockey because I was like, those ice hockey girls were so mean. Like, I'd hate to see what they're like as adults. maybe the speed skaters are nicer, and they are. Like, I've met like the nicest people ever doing speed skating. That being said, like I think being mature and an adult does help. So I'm not afraid of hockey girls as adults at this point. Like, I think I'd be fine. They were so bad to me as a little kid. Like, they spit food in my face in the locker room, and like, they're bad. So I had to quit ice hockey after 5th grade because of the girls' team. So I didn't know what to do. Like, that was my passion. It was my favorite sport. And I was really into sports in elementary school where I would watch ESPN before school every day. And then in the summer, I'd watch ESPN too. And like they had these shows called Flex Appeal, Kiana's Flex Appeal, and ESPN Body Shaping, where they were fitness shows back in the 90s. And I would watch that because that's what was on in the summer. And I don't know, there was something about it where I was just like, that looks awesome. I want to do that. So then I started lifting weights in middle school in the 90s. I was typically too young to go to a gym, so I was doing home workouts, got little dumbbells, got some, infomercial fitness equipment for Christmas presents, birthday presents, and my birthday is right by Christmas, so I could combine it if it was like a big present. Be like, it's the birthday Christmas present. So ever since middle school, I've been into like home gyms, which most people think is stupid until there's a pandemic. Then I'm like the queen of the pandemic because I've got adjustable dumbbells and they don't. Oh, and I have like a weight bench. Well, I've been through a lot of weight benches, but I got like a good one now, a couple years back. I didn't just get it for the pandemic. I actually only got rid of equipment in the pandemic. I sold stuff off. Perfect time to do it. It kind of worked out perfectly it's a long story. It kind of worked out perfectly. It's like the only thing that's worked out perfectly. Like everything has been screwed up, but that was like the one thing that worked out perfectly. Time to sell my power rack and rowing machine because I don't have enough space for it since I came here. Sell it in a pandemic. Don't lose a lot of money. I more than got my money's worth out of that when I owned it. Couple years old. And instead of like depreciating 90% like it typically would, I got like spent it all on vision expenses, these glasses, spent it all on these and like 2 car repairs, and I've still got more car repairs to do. I know there's going to be someone who's like, sell every last thing you own to get every car repair done. I'm not going to. The rest of the repairs can wait. I'm not going to sell my adjustable weights and shit like that just to get the car repairs done. Like, they will get done eventually. I'm not going to sell every last thing I own. That's the thing. I know I'm opening up myself to criticism on the internet. I don't care. I think I'm mature enough, have good enough emotional and intellectual boundaries. If someone wants to be like that, I don't care. Here's what I do differently. I'd sell every single thing I own and live in a cardboard box. Like, okay. Okay. So yeah, I've been into home workouts since middle school. I've been too sick to do anything the past several months. I would love to start lifting weights again and get my muscle back. And I know most fitness channels are like fucking 19-year-olds who are in shape. I was in great shape when I was 18 too. Whatever. I ran myself into the ground physically to get into shape intellectually, and it did not work out. Don't do what I did. Have good time and energy boundaries. Don't change your priorities. So, given how repetitive and dull my life is, just applying to jobs and being stuck in my apartment, the workouts might be one of the most interesting things I can film. I've tried to film some cooking stuff in the apartment kitchen. It's like a huge kitchen, which is like super awesome, but it's like not awesome to film in. Cause like I can either show my face or show the food, but not both. I'll show the food. At some point, I got like nothing to cook at the moment. I've got ideas for some recipes though. So yeah, I'll do mukbangs where I share my thoughts on health dogma and how it's like creating an apocalypse from time to time. And then I'll show myself maybe going on hikes and doing workouts because it's like the only thing I can do that won't kill me. Not that I was going to be dropping dead anyways. So be good to your mucous membranes. Peace out. Bye.